तारक मेहता का उल्टा चश्मा के एपिसोड 3953 में हम देखेंगे कि किस तरह रोशन अपने घर आ जाती है और अपने घर का दरवाज़ा खोलते साथ ही हैरान हो जाती है जब वो देखती है कि हाथी भाई अकेले सोफे पर बैठे हुए हैं। और फिर वो पूरे घर को देखती है और बिल्कुल खुश हो जाती है ये देखकर कि सोडी ने उसकी एनिवर्सरी की खुशी में पूरे घर को सजाया है। लेकिन हम देखते हैं कि दूसरी तरफ हर एक बंदा हाथी भाई के अलावा बालकनी से भीड़े की बालकनी तक जा रहा होता है, बहुत ही मुश्किल रास्ते से। और क्योंकि डॉक्टर हाथी बालकनी से नहीं जा सकते तो इसलिए वो सोफे पर ही बैठे रहते हैं। और फिर रोशन उनसे पूछती है कि वो यहाँ क्या कर रहे हैं और सोडी कहाँ है। तो डॉक्टर हाथी कुछ नहीं कह पाते क्योंकि वो सोडी का पोल नहीं खोलना चाहते। और हम देखते हैं कि फिर रोशन परेशान होकर भेड़े के घर चल जाती है क्योंकि भेड़े का घर उनके सबसे ज़्यादा करीब है। और फिर हम देखते हैं कि जैसे ही सारे गोकुलधाम के लोग भेड़े के घर में बालकनी से जाते हैं तो रोशन वहाँ आ जाती है और फिर से हंगामा शुरू हो जाता है क्योंकि इतनी मुश्किलों से सारे भेड़े के घर में आए थे और अब रोशन उनके पीछे भेड़े के घर में आ गई है। तो एक बार फिर हर एक बंदा बालकनी से फिर से वापस सोडी की बालकनी में जाता है। और इस बार रोशन बालकनी में खड़ी होती है और ये देख लेती है कि हर एक बंदा गोकुलधाम सोसाइटी में से उसके घर में है। और उसको इस बात का पता चल जाता है कि सोडी ने पार्टी शार्टी की है क्योंकि सोडी के मुंह से शराब की गंध आ रही है। और हम देखते हैं कि इस वजह से रोशन बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा हो जाती है और बहुत ज़्यादा नाराज़ हो जाती है क्योंकि सोडी ने उसका भरोसा एक बार फिर तोड़ दिया। और सोडी ने रोशन के पीछे जाकर रोशन की गैर मौजूदगी में पार्टी शार्टी की, उसे बिना बताए बगैर। अगर आप सबसे पहले तारक मेहता का उल्टा चश्मा के एपिसोड्स देखना चाहते हैं तो मैजिक वर्ल्ड को सब्सक्राइब कर दें और इस वीडियो को लाइक कर दें ताकि अगले तारक मेहता का उल्टा चश्मा के फुल एपिसोड्स आपके पास सबसे जल्दी आएँ। तो इस एपिसोड को शुरू करते हैं। Today's episode is really exciting for both the shows of Magic World, the two most famous shows, and their episodes 3953 and 113 respectively. Now, of course, there is a lot to be talked about in both our episodes. There is a lot more, you can say, twists and turns that we did not see coming, and yet here they are. Now, of course, talking about the show that is, you can say, the most famous one as of now, is really having our, you can say, heartbeat to the maximum, you can say, rate. And of course, starting off with Barsate, in which Jay's younger brother Varun comes up with a screenshot that Jay is dead, even though it just says that Jay is dead. And who sent that to them? Because it looks like that the news outlets sent this news to Varun, and it doesn't make any sense because we thought that it would be Jay, and of course Jay being all covered in blood, but that's not the case. It's just you can say it really is news, and that news says that Jay is dead. And of course we see that there is very terrible acting going on with Kriti, and we have no idea why they give her these, you can say, directions to act in this way. And of course she really doesn't look good at all, but of course she always is having these mood swings where she really just, you can say, changes her mood by the seconds. And it really is confusing. It definitely is very confusing to a lot of fans because they don't really know what's going on in her head. Now, of course, on the other hand, we see that the people of, well, Gokuldham Society, the men of Gokuldham Society, are now in Sodi's house, and now Sodi's friends, Sodi's childhood friends, are, well, leaving. And of course they couldn't you can say share the rest of the drink with the other society members or the other friends of Sodi from the society, so they just finished that bottle. And of course, for some reason, The person who is about to go to the airport is also drunk, which doesn't make any sense, and we have no idea why it's there. But here we are seeing that this is, in fact, you can say the most outrageous thing ever. But Taarak Mehta Ooltah Chashmah will definitely steep lower than before, and it has before. So these are the least surprising and shocking things that the show has done. Now, on the other hand, we see that there is a whole, you can say, dramatic thing going on between, we know who she is, Kriti's mother, Malini, and Kriti, and of course, there is just some little amount of, you can say, awareness that was needed, and we see that now Malini wakes up and she just, you can say, slaps Kriti out of frustration, which is not the thing that she should do, but here we are. And on the other hand, we see that Sodi's friends are still, you can say, in very much enjoyment of theirs, and we can clearly see that it's going to affect Sodi's life as it has always had. So you can say that on the other hand, we see that everyone is really shocked, and now for some reason Jay's father, who looks like his older brother, as we have always said, we have no idea who decided to cast these people. It definitely has something to do with nepotism, because there is no way these cast members were casted without some sort of, you can say, knowledge, or you can say personal connections that make the whole of it. And of course, now we see that Sodi's friends have left, and of course they just, you can say, they really did just evade the storm when it was coming right at Sodi's house, which is in the form and shape of Roshan. And we also saw how they came in the car, and that car is driven by someone responsible who is not drunk. So of course there is this awareness happening in this show. And on the other hand, we see that Malini teaches Kriti about the importance of rejection and how it must be treated. And for some reason, Sodi falling on the sofa is the most dramatic thing for this show, when it's really just nothing. And we can also see that it is very in character for him to do that. Sodi has done some really terrible things. So this is definitely the least dramatic thing that just happened. And of course, we see that they have to find a way in order to, you can say, ready Sodi for the video call, because they don't really know that Roshan is coming right at the doorstep, and she is probably in Powder Gully. So you can say that she is the surprise and shock, and we see that here very, you can say, clearly. And of course they still don't know that Roshan is on her way, and we see that they have to really, you can say, tidy up Sodi in order to be not, you can say, looking like a drunk. So he shouldn't look like a drunk, and that is the only way they can make Sodi have a video call with Roshan. But of course all the plans just flop when we see that Roshan is coming, and that is, you can say, informed to them by Abdul. So of course a lot of these things might happen, and now suddenly Kriti is changed. We see that Kriti is now going the villainous route, And of course, there is a plot twist in the end of Barsatein that we did not see coming at all. It just is very, very confusing. And of course, they have been doing this. So, well, they will continue to do this so that their show doesn't go off air. And we see that everyone is shocked once again when they hear that, well, Jay is alive for some reason. And yes, here we are seeing that Jay has a red stain on his, well, kurta or whatever you want to call it, on his shirt, and the shirt isn't torn at all. So there isn't a single tear or a scratch of a bullet. So what is happening in this show? Do they really not care at all? Because they should have really just, you can say, torn some part of the shirt so it would look like that a bullet really just snatched and missed Jay. Because if it didn't, then there is this blood coming out of, well, it's not blood, it's just the red stain. And of course, we really can't stand it. What is happening in this show? This show definitely has a lot of budget considering all the decorations and all the things that the cast members are wearing. So it just doesn't make any sense. And on the other hand, we see that, well, Bhide is coming up with solutions that are needed for the, you can say, for the survival of, well, Sori's house. And then we see the shock. Then we are, you can say, literally introduced to the shock that is in the form of Roshan. And Abdul, you can say, confirms if everything is all right in Sori's house, because a person who is heading towards, well, their house is coming to their way. And of course, Bhide is shocked and terrorized, and he is just, you can say, terrified that Roshan is coming. And of course, everyone is shocked, just like how everyone was shocked in, you can say, 1,000 episodes ago, or maybe more than that, when Roshan yet again surprised everyone in Gokuldam society. And well, Bhide, not Bhide, Sori most of all, because of his partying things. So we see that now Roshan is in the society. And of course, we really have no idea who this, you can say, that red car belongs to. And of course, to make it more like their brand, we see that Sori's house, Sori's balcony is also having car parts for some reason. And of course, now we are introduced to our new Roshan, played by a new, well, she is the same Roshan, played by a new, well, actress. And of course, we welcome her here, but she should know better. And of course, she should know the restrictions and the things that people have gone through. So maybe instead of joining the cast, they should just stop, you can say, applying for the roles. Just like how in, well, Jerthalal's life, Daya isn't available for quite some time. And we see that now we really see that Roshan is here, and Roshan is really completely a new character. Well, she looks like a new character with this whole introduction. And of course, they couldn't have Daya and Roshan simultaneously, so they had to really just, you can say, well, wait for Daya because they needed Roshan to be here first. And we see that the only person who isn't surprised at, or really isn't terrorized at, well, Roshan's return is Sori, because Sori loves his wife very much. And we see that when everyone in the, well, balcony leaves, only then Roshan turns her back, which is just weird. We have no idea why they still do this. So now Sori is confused as to why they won't let him, well, see his wife. And of course, Bhide is mostly, you can say, Bhide is the most confused, and well, he is also very terrified and shocked because Roshan has surprised slash shocked them once again. Now, on the other hand, we see that there is also another shock that, well, Jay gives Aradhana and everyone else really, and mostly, well, Bhakti, and if Harsh counts, we have no idea why Harsh isn't there, and Bhakti is the only one who is speaking against this whole relation. And now, for some reason, they are still really just talking and not informing, well, others like Malini that Jay is alive. And now, well, Kriti is in her villain era because she has stopped Malini, and for some reason it looks like that Kriti's villain arc has started, which is just unbelievable. We really had no idea that they would steep this low for that to happen, but here we are seeing that, well, Malini is too powerful here to be just, you can say, under Kriti's influence or anger or any sort of emotions, because she is her mother. And of course, Kriti uses that same card, that same mother card, and blames Malini for the things that she has done in the past. So of course, Malini isn't the greatest example of motherhood, and we see that well, Abdul is trying to, well, distract Roshan from going to Sori's house, her own house, because he doesn't want Roshan to catch Sori red-handed and everyone else, because they are also the victims of this whole drama. And we see that this is going to take some while, but surely Roshan will be gone for, well, her own house, to her own house. So that is really going to be really interesting, and we can clearly see that this Roshan is wearing the same outfit, or at least the same sari that the previous Roshan was wearing, and instead of pink she is wearing purple. So we also depicted her return before anyone else. That is something that we are really proud of. We always are, you can say, well, most of the time we are thankful to be having correct predictions and depictions of our favorite shows. So we see that everyone is cleaning and clearing up Sori's whole mess, and they are trying to really clean up the whole house and make it look like that no one was there and Sori was ready for Roshan. And of course, on the other hand, we see that Aradhana is being dragged from one side to the other. She is really being, you can say, torn apart in a metaphorical way, and that is her being snatched away to the other side by Bhakti, and on the other side with, well, Aranj. So we see that Aradhana says that she loves Ryansh, but the ending really just disappoints every single person watching this show. And Aradhana saying that she loves Ryansh is making Bhakti cry for some reason. We have no idea why. We also have no idea why she is doing the absolute most when she could just listen to her, well, daughter and be done with it. And of course, we also see that is very true here. Every single thing happening in this show is really just the most. They'd be doing the most. Yes, that is very true. And we see that Abdul couldn't hold Roshan distracted for a longer time, and now Abdul is warning the men of Kogalam society, everyone present in Sori's house, that Roshan is coming their way. And of course, everyone is shocked even more so. And that is, well, rightfully so. So we can clearly see that there are a lot of shocking factors in both our shows, both our, you can say, TV shows, our favorite shows, Barsati and Taarak Mehta Ooltah Chashmah, where everyone is being shocked here and there, being surprised with the things that are being done to them. And of course, we are really excited to see what plot will be next after this whole Roshan drama, because Roshan will definitely be really angry at Sori, and that is going to, well, take place for a very long time. And of course, they are just stretching it, and they also didn't show any single thing in the coming up, well, from the coming up next promo, so that is the lowest of the lowest for them. So we see that now Roshan is here in, well, outside Sori's house, outside her own house, and of course we see that the whole stench that is coming from Sori's mouth isn't stopping Roshan from knowing that he has been partying all night. And on the other hand, we see that the most unbelievable scene is happening, where Aradhana is now saying yes and is really accepting this marriage proposal by Rehansh, and it just feels like everything is fulfilled. We see that Aradhana says what Rehansh has been begging, or really just he has been begging to hear. And of course, we see that this whole moment feels like the end of the show, basically, when Aradhana is really just, you can say, saying yes to the man that who has been after her for a very long time. And we see that Aradhana is, well, also making Rehansh wear that whole flower necklace. Is it called a necklace? We have no idea. So when, well, Rehansh is fulfilling the thing, when he thinks that he has gotten what he desired most in his life, we see that the, well, directors or the showrunners really just disappoint us all and showcase that Rehansh was actually dreaming. He really was dreaming. This was his imagination. He really was, well, you can say he was having illusions. And we see that now he thinks that the outcome will be the same, just like his dream. And that is something that never happens. When you dream, the dreams don't come true at all. Well, most of the time they don't. So we see that, well, Aradhana still says that she has, you can say, decision to announce, and that decision is which is Aradhana announcing that she is going to marry.
Subscribe our channel and watch these episodes brought to you by Magic World, the channel that brings you daily episodes before any other streaming services. Our goal is to provide entertainment to our viewers with freshly made episodes only for the true Magic World fans. Hit the bell icon so you never miss the opportunity to watch our episodes.